Hola,
Hola,
mister.
hola, hola. Solo de un lado me escuchan.
Sí,
Bueno,
mister, sí se la escucha, no sé si me escucha también.
ok, permítanme. Vamos a hacer una cosa. ¿Me escuchan ahora?
Sí, mister, sí se la escucha.
Ok, perfecto. Sí, que estoy viendo. Es un problema con Zoom, que a veces agarra, a veces no agarra. Cuando le pega el feo, Dios mío. All right, guys. Sorry for the delay. Problem with Zoom. Today we're going to continue with example number one. We're supposed to study, yes, to study, yes, okay? In this situation, if you remember, we were talking about according the some girl, he's supposed to travel to one city to another one, right? Just like we can say distance between San Pedro Sula until Tegucigalpa, for a manner of speak. And according for that situation, happened four stages or four stages. In the first one, she's moving at the velocity of 80 kilometers per hour, the total time of 30 minutes. After that, she changed the velocity into the 80 passes to 100 kilometers per hour, but continued driving for 12 minutes. After that, she stopped the car. Okay, stopped the car to eat food, buying food and gasoline. And on doing that station, obviously, the velocity that will be zero because she's a pet, eating, charging gasoline, and that will be over 15 minutes. And finally, after that, she continued the travel, moving at 40 kilometers per hour in 45 minutes. The question on the problem was two questions, as a matter of speaking. One of them is, what will be the average speed or velocity in the entire trip, and what will be the total distance that he's supposed to move since the city A onto the city B, right? So, what we're going to do in that situation? Yesterday, I don't remember exactly, but one of you guys asked me, okay, why the time we supposed to change in hours? Because if you see the unit for the velocity, the unit of the velocity is kilometers per hour. For that reason, the 30 minutes, the minute, we're going to change in hour because we really want to cancel the unit of hour. See, the unit of velocity were given in meters per second, we have to change minutes into seconds. Okay? So, remember what is the concept of the average speed for velocity. The average speed of velocity in that situation will be average speed, the total distance divided by the total time. Okay? This is the concept of the average speed. The problem actually for that situation. For that reason, because we really need to know what would be the total distance, we have to calculate the distance for the first three stages. Stage one, stage number two, and stage number three. You know, if velocity equals distance divided by time, we can perfectly conclude the distance will be given by the product between the velocity multiplying by the time. Okay? So to fulfill this equation, impossible equation, as a matter of speaking, we really need to know what will be the total distance, right? For that reason, we're going to calculate every one of them. Just to explain you yesterday, the distance number one is the product between velocity and time. I mean, 80 kilometers per hour multiplied by the period of time that will be 0.5 hours. For that reason, the first distance, if you see we can cancel hours with hours, the answer will be 40 kilometers. The first distance. Okay? Second distance. Repeat the process with the same formula. but this time we're going to use distance number 2. What is the velocity number 2? The velocity number 2 is 100 kilometers per hour multiplied by the 2 minutes he's driving. That means 0.2 hours. Okay, for that reason, the distance number 2 in this case will be 20 kilometers. And finally, after she's eating and charging gasoline, obviously, she moves 40 kilometers per hour during 0.75 hours. That will be the distance number 3 in simple meter words. 40 kilometers per hour multiplying by 0.75 hours. Okay? For that reason, we're going to multiply 40 times 0.75. The answer will be 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers. What are we going to do? Remember, we have 2 questions. One of them, what was the average velocity? And the second question is, what is the total distance that she's supposed to drive in the entire trip? Okay, we can solve, or actually we can expand the second answer already before to solving the letter A. In the letter B, the total distance obviously will be the addition between all of them. And simply words, 40 kilometers plus 20 kilometers plus 30 kilometers. All right. For that reason, the total distance that she's supposed to move from the city A onto the city B, that will be equal to 90 kilometers. Understood onto this part? Yes or not? Please confirm. ¿Entendieron hasta aquí?
Sí, mister.
Hola. Hola, hola,
Sí,
hola.
mister.
¿Me escuchan?
Sí, mister.
¿Me
Sí, mister.
escuchan?
Sí, mister, sí lo escuchamos.
Hola.
Creo que no
Hola.
nos escuchan, profesor.
Mister,
Nosotros. No te escucho. Hola, hola. Ah, ok. Ahora sí, prueben ahora, muchachos.
hola, sí,
¿Me
hola.
escucha, mister?
Ya los escucho, lo siento. Lo siento, perdón. Les vuelvo a hacer la pregunta. ¿Entendieron hasta ahorita?
Sí, mister.
Ok, perfecto. Tenemos la distancia total, la suma de todo esto. Es el inciso E. Ahora el inciso A, recuerde que nos pedía cuál es la velocidad promedio. Es esta formulita. Distancia total entre tiempo total. O sea que aquí hacemos el inciso A, aplicando la formulita. Distancia total entre el tiempo total. ¿Cuál es la distancia total? 90 kilómetros por hora. 90 kilómetros. 90 kilómetros. The total time, tiempo total. If you see, we have 0.5 hours in the first stage, 0.22 hours, second stage, 0.75 hours in the third stage, and even though in the fourth stage, because she stopped eating and charging gasoline, she's wasting time, but it's part of the time of the trip, okay? For that reason, we have to add the fourth time, because is the total time. It doesn't matter if you're moving or not moving, it's a part of the trip, okay? So the total time will be 0.5 plus 0.2 plus 0.75 plus 0.25. And the total time will be 1.7 hours. Understood? The time in the first three stages, in the fourth stage, even though you are not moving, but it's a part of the trip because the time will continue. That's why we're supposed to include that period of time, this 0.25 hours. Okay? In secondary work, we're going to divide 90 divided by 1.7, and the answer will be 52.94 kilometers per hour. And this is going to be the solution of the problem. Letter A, what is the average speed? 52.94 kilometers per hour. Letter B, what is the total distance since the city A from the city B? 90 kilometers. Question. Question.
No, Miss.
Mister, can you explain the last part of letter A?
Okay, the last part. Remember the definition, average speed of velocity. The difference is the meaning of the letter B. If we're talking about velocity, instead to say total distance, that would say total displacement. Okay, divided by the total time. And because the problem asks me average speed, we're talking about total distance divided by the total time. This is the concept. That's why before to solve the letter A, we have to solve the letter B, because in the letter B, they're asking for what is the total distance that she moves since the city A until the city B. Implementary work, I'm going to add 40, 20, and 30, and that will be 90 kilometers. This is going to be the total distance. Okay? Total distance divided by total time. In total time, my dear students, it doesn't matter if you are moving or not moving. The time is running out. Okay? For that reason, she spent time in the first thing, half hour, 0.2 hours, 0.35 hours moving, and even though she was eating and charging gasoline during 50 minutes, but that time is a part of the trip. For that reason, before to apply to solve the problem, the total time that will be the addition of the 4 times that we're supposed to have over there. Okay? And now, you know the total distance and the total time, divide them, and we have the answer. Understood, right? Onto this one?
Yes, now yes, thank you.
Ok, my pleasure. Remember, en español lo voy a decir. Ese tiempo total, óigalo bien, que no se le olvide. Dice tiempo total. Si usted se mueve o no se mueve, es asunto suyo, pero el tiempo corre. O sea que entre más pachorreo usted, más se va a tardar en llegar a su destino. Por lo tanto, aunque usted no se esté moviendo, al momento de aplicar el concepto de tiempo total, el tiempo se suma. ¿Estamos? ¿Estamos? Sí, excelente.
Yes.
Mientras que aquí no calculamos una distancia 4, porque aquí la velocidad era 0, porque usted no estaba moviendo, usted estaba sentadito comiendo y aunque calculáramos 0 por 0.25, siempre no iba a dar 0, ¿cierto? Entonces no hay sentido agregarle un 0. Vamos a hacer otro ejemplo parecido, pero ahí donde tiene una tónica, donde vamos a aplicar este concepto. ¿Sí? Lo voy a escribir y lo vamos a resolver. Y pongan mucha atención y sobre todo, si no entiende, pregunte. ¿De acuerdo? Con toda la confianza. Okay, I'm going to solve. All right, let's see. Yeah, example number 2. Hold on. Yeah. In the example number 2 says, chon, 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 chon. A person, in the example number 2 says, a person takes a trip. Take a trip. Okay, una persona hace un viaje, coma, driving with a constant speed. Driving with a constant speed. Constant speed and uniform speed, that means the same. There is no acceleration. All right, just for clarify. Constant speed, uniform speed is the same. Uniform speed means there is no acceleration. Okay, a person takes a trip driving with a constant speed of 89.5 kilometers per hour. 89.5 kilometers per hour. Comma, except for 20 minutes. For a 20 minutes, 22 minutes. For 22 minutes, okay, rest stop. Rest stop. Right? Okay. Here. The person average speed is the person average speed. If the person average speed, okay, is 77.8, is 77.8 kilometers per hour. 77.8 kilometers per hour. We have 2 questions. Letter A. Letter A.
Mister, that's 77.
77.8. 77.8. The person average speed is 77.8 kilometers per hour. Letter A. How much time? How much time? How much time is spent on the trip? Is spent on the trip. Okay, how much time is spent on the trip? Okay, and letter B, how far does the person drive? Okay, according to a problem, they're asking 2 things. What will be the total time of the trip? And the second question is the distance, because they're asking for how far. So we're talking about the distance in that situation. Okay. So, did you copy that already or not yet?
Yes, sister.
Not yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to solve that. Okay? First of all, remember, before to solving problems, we have to identify the data. It's so important in that situation because according to the data, we can assume or we can imagine what will be what we have to do in one singular situation. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. In the data, for example, we're going to say at the beginning of the problem, we have one singular constant speed, right? I'm going to say a speed of 89.5 kilometers per hour. Okay, this is the constant velocity that the problem gave us at the beginning of the problem. I have a question for you. Do we have the period of time of the entire trip? Tenemos,
22 minutes. No,
no,
no.
no, no, no.
We
No,
don't have
no.
it. We don't have it.
We don't have it. So the time of trip, CP, that means time of trip, we don't know. We have the unknown variable. Okay, I'm going to see, I'm going to apply time. What time? All of this. Now, after that, we have some kind of time. We're going to assign like a T1, if you want to say. That will be 20 minutes. In this 20 minutes, my dear students, is minutes when she stopped the car. Probably she was eating, charging gasoline, or he went, or she, we don't know what kind of person it is. He went to the bathroom. We don't know what happened. But we have a delay of 20 minutes. That's a part of the trip. Remember, 20 minutes in hours. We're talking about a period of time of 0.37 hours. Okay? 0.37 hours. All right. And finally, the problem that gave us the average speed. I'm going to use this letter B with this horizontal bar just for distinguish between the average speed and the regular speed, okay? Just for clarify, como para diferenciar entre esto y esto. The average speed will be around 77.8 kilometers per hour. One question is, what is the time of the trip? And the second question is, what is the total distance between them? Okay? So, what we're going to do in this equation, in this situation? Well, we're going to apply the definition that we're supposed to have over here, right? What is the definition? The definition gave us the average speed. I'm going to use this horizontal line because I really want to differentiate between this velocity and this, okay? The problem mentioned average speed. Okay, equation. Average speed equals total distance divided by the total time of the trip. Okay? So, let's going to replace what variables do we know. Example, what is the value of the average speed? According to the problem, what is the value of the average speed?
77.8
Exactly,
kilometers.
exactly. 77.8 kilometers per hour. Do we know the total distance? No idea. Total distance. And the total time, remember, that will be the addition of all of the time period during the trip. Okay? For that reason, instead to drive total time, we're going to add the time of the trip because we don't know what is the value of this period of time. However, we're going to add this value of period of time, 0.37 hours, because it doesn't matter if you stop the car, eating, go to the bathroom, and something like that. At the end, this period of time is a part of the trip. Understood? Same way when we perform this operation in the problem number 1. Remember, we added the time number 4, even though the car wasn't dressed. Understood on this part? ¿Estamos hasta ahorita?
Yes.
Ok, recuerden que aunque el tipo esté en el baño haciendo el número 2, por decirlo así, se tarde lo que se tarde, va a ser un tiempo que le va a añadir al viaje. Entonces tiene que incluir. Okay, what do we have? We have a linear equation because this term is divide passes to multiply. I mean 77.8 kilometers per hour multiplied by t plus 0.37 hours. Close parentheses, this entire equation that will be equal to the total distance. Okay, we have a serious problem over here because we don't know what is the value of t, and here, what is the value of the total distance? Well, if we analyze the problem, there is no stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. There's only one singular stage, right? What is the singular stage? The person starts from their trip at the velocity of 89 kilometers per hour. She rests 5:22 minutes and continue with the same rate. What? How do I know that? Because the problem mentioned constant speed. Constant speed, another way of saying uniform speed, that means same velocity. There's no change. Okay. If you remember, we have a classical formula how to calculate the distance. Remember, distance can be calculated multiplying velocity times time. Yes or no? ¿Sí o no? Distancia igual, velocidad por tiempo. Got it?
Yes.
All right. What I'm going to do, instead to drive total distance, I'm going to change by the blue one. Velocity times time. I mean, 77.8 kilometers per hour, parentheses, t plus 0.37 hours equals velocity times the time. And I have a question for you. Do we have the value of the velocity? ¿Esto es el valor de la velocidad? ¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Sí. ¿Y cuál es ese valor?
¿Cómo?
¿Cuál es el valor de la velocidad? A ver.
77.8.
Dice velocidad, no dice velocidad promedio. Dice velocidad. ¿Cuál es el valor de la velocidad? ¿Le da el problema?
89.5.
89.5. Por eso es que los datos, cuando yo les puse los datos, les diferencié esta con una B regular, que es velocidad, y al final le puse esta B con una rayita, que es la velocidad promedio, ¿verdad? Entonces, en vez de colocar esta B de vaca, que es una velocidad ordinaria común y corriente, la voy a reemplazar por, como lo que dijo la compañera, 89.5. ¿Y por qué yo lo reemplacé aquí? Porque aquí le pusimos la B y la rayita, que es average speed. Y aquí habíamos dicho, the average speed is 77.8. ¿Entendieron por qué estoy reemplazando en la B ordinaria por 89.5?
Sí, mi sir. Sí.
Okay. Continue. 77.8 8 kilometers per hour. Parentheses, C plus 0.37 hours, right? That will be equal to 89.5 kilometers per hour multiplied by that time. Mire, ya convertimos una ecuacióncita. Ya no tenemos esas variables. Ahora, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Vamos a aplicar propiedad distributiva. ¿Sí? Este por el T y este por 0.37. Pregunta, ¿tenemos tiempo todavía o ya es hora, muchachos?
Ya es hora, mister.
Ya es hora, ¿verdad? Ah, bueno. Entonces lo vamos a dejar hasta aquí. El día de mañana vamos a continuar. ¿De acuerdo? Y ya saben, cualquier duda o consulta, me lo hacen saber. ¿De acuerdo?
Bye, mister.
Bueno, tengan buen provecho. Los vemos mañana si Dios lo permite.
Bye, mister.
Bye bye, so long. Take care of yourself.
Bye, Mr.